Hey everyone, welcome to the Comic Book Guide channel. And this episode, we're going to talk about some recent finds that I've had, collecting comics through comic shops, eBay purchases, garage sales, wherever I find books, And because Guy did a video about this, about some of his more recent finds. And so we want to do one about mine. I brought 8 books today that I bought recently, and I want to share them with you guys and see what you guys think about them. All right, my first little find is Invaders #1 from 1975. The story is by Roy Thomas, and the artwork is by Vince Colletta. And what this is the Invaders were introduced in an Avengers title, and they were very popular. So everyone now wants to read all these stories about, hey, what are these stories about the invaders during World War II? So this is what it is. This kicks off the series. This tells the story of, the invaders and what they did during World War II and all the crazy, villains they fought and everything, like U-Man and Master Man and these wacky villains. And there's even a Nazi Frankenstein monster and thrown in there, which is crazy and really fun to read. But yeah, it's a really good read. This ran for about 43 issues. It's a lot of fun. And I found this in a comic shop for about $50. This is definitely on the higher grade. I would say this is very fine and encroaching upon near mint condition, lower near mint. It's definitely, it's not a very expensive book, but this is just the first one. And the rest are, of course, cheaper. But yeah, it's a fun read. I highly recommend it. All right, this is Tales of Suspense number 58. Story by Stan Lee and artwork by Jack the King Kirby. What this book is the first appearance of Captain America in the Tales of Suspense comic. And then the next issue, they split the title, but, Tales of Suspense featuring Iron Man and Captain America. And then, the title runs itself out until they both branch off into their own titles. But yeah, in this issue, this is from 1964. This is, in this story, the Chameleon, that guy, he tricks Iron Man into fighting Captain America, but then, they both they find out his plot, and, of course, they band together to defeat him. And also, this is the second appearance of Kraven the Hunter, which is interesting. I thought it was a fun little bonus factoid to find out about this book. But yeah, this is a pretty highly sought after book. It's Cap's first appearance. I mean, he just got woken up out of the ice, in this time frame. And also this marks the end of the Tales of the Watcher, which was a running story in the Tales of Suspense series that ends that chapter, the Tales of the Watcher. But yeah, this was a convention pickup. I got this for $150 at the last convention I went to, which was, I thought it was a hell of a find. And I did some haggling with the guy. I definitely did, because I bought a few other things from him. But yeah, this was the nicest find I picked up. But yeah, hell of a find. I love this book. Great classic cover. All right, next up is Avengers number 43. This is the first appearance of Red Guardian, which is apparently a fairly popular character now. David Harbour is playing him in the Marvel Cinematic Universe movies, and he's a pretty well-liked character. He's a goofball and out of shape, and but he's like the Soviet version of Captain America. But yeah, what happens in this issue is Black Widow has been kidnapped, and Hawkeye and Hercules, they go to rescue her, and when they do that, they encounter Red Guardian, who is the Soviet answer to Captain America. But yeah, this is Stan Lee on story, and Roy Thomas on story, and John Buscema on artwork. Yeah, John Buscema. Love some John Buscema artwork. But yeah, this is in fairly good condition. And I bought this about a month ago, and I got this for $100, again, at the same convention. A different vendor, though. I got this for about $100. But now it's gone up. It's actually gone up a little bit. So getting one in in nicer condition is going to cost you, definitely. But yeah, I really love the cover. Really dynamic cover. Red Guardian right out front. Very cool. It really introduces you to the character, and who now is apparently pretty popular. All right, my next book is Submariner number 5. from 1968. This is the 1968 series of Submariner. And this is the first appearance of Tiger Shark, which I love as a villain. I don't think they use him nearly enough, but I kind of get it. He's an underwater villain, so not a lot of stuff happens underwater. But yeah, what happens is this is a Roy Thomas story and another John Buscema artwork book. So again, this fantastic team of Roy Thomas and John Buscema are teaming up for this title as well. But yeah, what happens is this guy Todd Arliss, I think is his name. Someone correct me if I'm wrong, but he's an Olympic athlete and he gets injured while trying to save somebody that was drowning or something like that. And so he encounters this guy, Dr. Dorcas. That's his name, who is this evil scientist. And actually, I think his name is Lemuel Dorcas is his name, I'm pretty sure. Lemuel, you gotta love that name. I think the only other Lemuel I've ever heard of is the guy pulling the ferry in The Outlaw Josie Wells, which if you haven't seen The Outlaw Josie Wells, you need to go do that. That's a fantastic movie. But anyway, yeah, fantastic names aside. He combines Namor's DNA and the DNA of a tiger shark and puts it in this guy and creates Tiger Shark, which is a fantastic villain. I mean, he's super fast underwater, of course, and he's got like these claws and shark's teeth. I mean, just shark's teeth in a human face is just terrifying. And apparently his skin is like really thick and rough, which I don't understand because I've been reliably informed that shark skin is completely smooth in all directions. So I didn't really understand that one. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, I've heard from several marine biologists that shark skin is completely smooth in all directions. I saw a whole forum discussion about that fact. But yeah, this is a great book. And yeah, of course, he fights Namor and is a long-running villain in the title. And always a favorite of mine. I think in the further down the road, I think only a few years ago, they made him more tiger-like, more shark-like. I think they're trying to capitalize on the popularity of King Shark from DC at the time, which I never cared for that version of him, but then they reverted it back to the more human form very wisely. Because like I said, there's nothing, just rows of shark's teeth in like a human's face is just terrifying, the idea. That's so creepy. But yeah, this is a fantastic book. And I got this. This was, again, about $50. This was an eBay auction. I got it for about $50. So yeah, I thought it was a hell of a find. It's in really good condition, I love this book. And this only leaves me with, I think, three books in my Submariner run, and I have the whole run. All right, this one was a more recent find of mine. I already had a copy, but it was really beat up. So this one is in fantastic condition. So I snagged this right away when I saw it in really good shape. I mean, it's really nice. It presents really well because the one I had, the red, was really faded. So this, you can see the red is really bright, really pops, stands out against his blue pants and the old classic yellow, shirt with the big collar that I love so much. The colors are really bright and pop on this. Love it. This is, of course, Luke Cage, Hero for Hire #1, first appearance of Luke Cage from 1972. This is the stories by Archie Goodwin and George Tuska on the artwork. And of course, this is the story of Luke Cage. He's wrongfully convicted of a crime. He goes to prison. He kind of gives up on things, and he's, agrees to go through these experiments, and it turns him into, Luke Cage, Power Man. And he escapes and eventually clears his name, and he's pardoned, for the crimes he was wrongfully convicted of. But yeah, it kicks it all off right here. I picked this up. This was $250 that I got, and that's the price they had it listed at. And I didn't even argue with them on it. I snatched it right away. I thought that was a hell of a deal. So yeah, this was a great find. Yeah, great book. Really presents well. Nice, beautiful colors on the front. Really stands out in my collection. All right, next up, I have Marvel Superheroes #12. This is from 1967. And of course, this is the first appearance of Captain Marvel. All right, this is the male Captain Marvel before Carol Danvers took over. And actually, Carol Danvers appears in the very next issue, which I also have, but I've had it for a very long time. Yeah, but this one, I got this recently. This is his first appearance. I mean, there are some issues, minor issues here and there, but I think it really presents well. This is a nice looking book. It's very pretty. It's completely intact, and it's a thicker book. And this was Stan Lee on story and Gene Colan on artwork. And what this is the Marvel Superheroes line it's an anthology book. Before this, it was titled Fantasy, because it starts off with number 12. But the first 11 issues are called Fantasy Masterpieces, and that's all reprints of old stories from their various titles, older Tales of Suspense and things like that, comics. So this kicks off it changes to Marvel Superheroes number 12 with issue 12. But this is also an anthology book. And what they changed was there's also two other stories in it, but those are reprints, but they include one new story in each title. And they don't do that for that long before then they just start making all reprints again. But for the short amount of time that they did include new standalone stories, plus the other two, it was a short run, but they introduced, several new characters like Captain Marvel. This was one of them. This was his debut issue. I got this on an eBay auction. I won it for $105, which I thought was a pretty good bargain. I was really surprised. The first appearance of Captain Marvel, $105. And I was, pleasantly surprised when I got it, and it's actually in really good condition. So yeah, you have some good wins on eBay sometimes. All right, my next book is Tomb of Dracula #1. Yes, this is from 1972 with Jerry Conway is the artist on this, and Gene Colan does the interior artwork. But this is a Neal Adams cover, which is very cool, very beautiful cover. I mean, Neal Adams knocked it out of the park. That's a really cool cover. Shows Dracula carrying this, unconscious woman in this foggy swamp. Looks really cool, very creepy cover. But yeah, you had some really good talent on this book. And this kicks off Dracula's appearance in Marvel Comics. And this continues the run, which runs for 70 issues, I think, for several years, and introduces characters like Lilith and, of course, Blade in issue number 10, which I'm still on the hunt for at a decent price and a decent condition, But yeah, this is #1. This is not an incredibly expensive book. I mean, it's a little up there, especially in higher grades. But yeah, I found this actually at a horror convention. I got it for $150 as part of a bundle deal that I got with the guy. Of course, I go to a horror convention and I find the one guy with comics. He had a short box crammed full of comics. I got this and some other books and some Werewolf by Night. He had all this Marvel horror stuff, which I thought was very cool. I bought just about everything he had because it was all great stuff. But yeah, this was a part of the bundle deal I got. This was $150, and it's in remarkably good condition. It was a real treasure, a nice little find. You never know when you're going to find cool stuff. So yeah, always look. You can always look around at different vendors, no matter where you're at. You spot that little short box or the long box, and aha, what's in there? Take your time, look. You're going to find some gems sometimes. All right, next up is Vault of Evil #1. That's the final book I brought today. And this was another book I bought at that horror convention as part of a bundle. This one was $50. This is #1 of the Vault of Evil series. It only runs for 23 issues. And what this is it's an anthology book. There's 2 or 3 stories in every issue. And some of them aren't even credited. So you have no idea who the writer or the artist is for some of the stories in here, because they just don't list the credit. But yeah, this is a fun little. These are all new stories in every issue. Some of them by really cool writers and artists, and you can recognize some of the artwork because of course different artists, they have their own styles and stuff which you can pick up on, and you can recognize some John Romita Sr. artwork and stuff in there sometimes, amongst others. But yeah, this is a fun series. Yeah, like I said, only runs for 20. These aren't incredibly expensive. They're just very hard to find because there was a low print run. So yeah, again, you're not going to drop a lot of money on these, but they're hard to find. And yeah, like I said, I found these at a horror convention of all places. a part of a bundle I bought from the one guy that had comics there. But yeah, I love these little stories. They're a lot of fun, and they're all these little small standalone stories. That's all they are, and you get 2 or 3 in every issue. And some of them are really goofy and fun. I mean, they're not all big hits, but some of them are really interesting and fun. All right, hope you enjoyed the video. And no, this is not one of my recent purchases. This is just to remind you that we're having a 10,000 subscriber giveaway. When the channel hits 10,000 subscribers, Guy is very foolishly going to be giving away the entire 4-issue miniseries of this fantastic Chris Claremont and Frank Miller run of Wolverine. So yes, Guy will tell you all about it in this video, so listen up.
One of you will win this collection of Wolverine comics when the channel hits 10,000 subscribers. This is the 1982's Wolverine miniseries, issues 1 through 4 from the legendary team of Frank Miller and Chris Claremont. So let's keep it real simple. If you want to win these books, do 2 things. First, be sure to subscribe to the channel because only subscribers are eligible for this giveaway. Second, when we hit 10,000 subscribers, I will post the giveaway announcement video. You have to see this video to find out who will win, so make sure that you have notifications turned on, because you don't want to miss that. Now let's get back to the discussion.
All right, guys, let's hear about your recent comic purchases. What are some gems that you found at some local comic shops or conventions or garage sales? Let us know. We love hearing about that stuff. And hey, join our Facebook group and share photos of your recent finds. And it doesn't have to be comics. It could be statues, figures, or artwork. Whatever you like finding and showing off, let us know. We love seeing that stuff.